topic is, what's love got to do with it? Now, some of you may not be a little advanced in age like I am, but there's an incredible woman with incredible legs by the name of Tina Turner. And there is no way we can start talking about what's love got to do with it without paying homage to the divine Miss Tina Turner. So thank you, Tina, for rocking us out with it. And I thought about this, and I want to let you in on a little personal story, just a little tiny bit, and I got her permission. My partner, Veronica, and I, since we met, have had this ongoing conversation. Ongoing. We're years into it now. And when we first met, she said to me, what's love got to do with it? After I said I love her. I'm like, well, that wasn't the response I was thinking of getting. But all right, okay. And my response, being the typical Aquarian, loving my Beatles to death, saying, love is all that there is. And so we have constantly, over the years, had this ongoing dialogue about, well, you know, love, that's great, but how is love going to pay your rent? That's Veronica's side. And my side is, but love is all that there is, and we'll just tell the people that we love them, and can they let us pay the rent later? Sometimes it works. But as we have spiritually grown and matured in our lovership together, we've actually found a place of balance. Because I now begin to understand what does love have to do with it actually means you also need other things in order to be in love, right? And I believe that she's sort of coming into balance and understanding that it is love that allows us to grow through anything, right? So I'm sure that this will be an ongoing conversation. I'll give you a report later about how we're doing, but we're finding our footing around that. It is not an either or, it's a both and. So some of us stand on one side and some of us stand on the other. I invite you today to move a little bit to the center, right? So, you know, it's interesting. In Western culture, in American society, we have one word for love. We could say, I love you to the person who has just saved our life, or we could say, I love you to French fries. It's the same word. But what's difficult to understand is that it doesn't quite mean the same. Someone that we love dearly with all of our heart is not the same as our French fry. Or maybe I could just use something a little more healthy. Sweet potato fry. Right? No, I'm working with me, Alicia. So we're trying to find the right words to articulate, as the reading suggested, what we mean when we say, I love you. The Greeks are fascinating people. I had an opportunity years ago to travel to Greece and was there for a month by myself, and it wasn't until I came back, I was like, am I crazy? Why would I go to Greece where I don't speak the language by myself? And what I learned about myself and what I learned about the Greeks is they actually have 4 words for love. 4 words. We only have 1. The Bible speaks, and I refer to the Bible as a sacred text. It is an archetypal story, whether you believe it literally or figuratively is up to you. But the Bible speaks of these words, 2 of them, really. And so the first word for love that the Greeks have is storge. And storge means, the best way to describe it is the love you have for your family. You know, you're born into them and you're just like, okay, well, I don't like you people, but I love you, right? I'm not saying you, I'm saying me. You probably don't have that issue. But storge is the love that you have for your family. You didn't really choose them, sort of you did, but you really didn't, and so they're all just there. And so you love them, and that's called storge. The next term that the Greeks have is phila and phile, male and female, which actually means the love that we have for our friends. You know, it's like, you guys are my team, I'm going to try to use slang, homie, that's probably not, I'm old, so, yeah. But you know, you're my buddy, you're my friend, you know, I love you, I got you, right? So that's a term of endearment that we have for the people that we've come to love. The next word is eros. And we get the word erotic from that word, which, you know, there's some kids in here, is the sexual type of love. It's okay. We're a spiritual community. We can say sexual here. It's all right. And it means that erotic, passionate kind of love that happens between two people, no matter what gender. It's the same. And then there's one word that the Bible talks about. And this is the word that I want us to zero in. It is the term agape. And this term agape is almost indescribable. It is both a noun and a verb. And believe me, my English grammar stuff, my people that know me know I should not be talking about this. But I do know that it is both an action and a feeling. We're talking about agape love. And agape is the type of love that comes through whether you want it to or not. It is the type of love that Dr. King had when someone spit on him. It's the type of love that Gandhi had. It's the type of love that all the civil rights leaders and the women who marched, it's the type of love that allowed people to stare down the barrel of a gun and love anyway. It's the type of love that Jesus the Christ had. We're talking about agape love. Now here's the good news. We all have it. I know, some of you may say, no friend, I know. I was with you, you guys were affirming and you were meditating and singing and I was all with you, but now you're going to try to talk to me about loving people that I really don't want to love? Stop right there. I know, it's all right. But what I'm saying to you is that you are made in the image and out of the likeness, out of the substance of unconditional, unbound, unbridled love. That's your DNA. That is your signature. That is your vibrational frequency. And what has happened is we've forgotten. Which is why we come to spiritual communities like this. Which is why we come to spiritual communities that are whole soul diverse and amazing and full of people that you might not ever have met before. So that you get an opportunity to remember the truth. The truth is, we love each and every one of you. We love each other. Even when we don't like the behavior. Catch that. Even when we don't like the behavior. That is agape love. The kind of love that you surrender yourself to. The kind of love that comes out of you that is beyond your logical mind, right? Because if you think about it, there's some stuff that's just not cool. It's just not okay. There's some stuff going on right now today in our society. There are wars and rumors of wars. There's children who are hungry. There's people who are homeless. We're killing the trees. We're just doing some crazy stuff. Yeah, I almost went to a different word. Stuff will suffice. Cleaning up my language for my birthday. And yet, it is not fear or anger that is going to transform us. Any great movement, any great transformation came out of a place of love that is beyond the logical mind. That's why here we surrender the mind to the heart, because we know that the love, the heart, has an intelligence that is beyond reason, that is beyond intellect, that is beyond rationality, and that's its nature. We have decided we're going to stop that. We're going to put a hold on that. I don't want to really love that much. I don't want to really love that big. I don't really want to give that much, because what are people going to think of me? They're going to think you're an unconditional lover of humanity. I can think of no better title than that, right? Now it takes courage. Love is not for the weak, as I share with Veronica on a regular basis. Whew. If I knew I was going to have to love this much, I would be like have a L on my chest, because there are some moments when life has just taken me over and dragged me down and pushed me to a place where I'm not sure I can get back up. There's some people that have done some wrong to me, and yet and still, love comes anyway. It's my nature. And so we do these spiritual practices to reflect and to reveal, to remove all of the blocks and barriers to love, to allow our heart to open, to have the courage To love when it's hard to love. Because let me tell you something. Anybody can love when you feel good, right? Your partner's bringing you flowers and, the sun is shining and everything is all good. Birds are birding and trees are treeing. Yeah, there's no problem. We all can walk around with spring fever. But the question is, can you love in the dead of winter? Can you love when your whole life appears to have fallen apart and it's at the advent of other people? Can you love yourself through it? No one's breathing. Let's just breathe. Can you be brave enough to love yourself when you don't like what you did, what you said, or where you went? Because I guarantee you that the universal presence, this divine intelligence that becomes personal and real to you, we call it God, some call it spirit, loves you without condition. There is nothing you could ever do, say, be, have, take, that will take away the divine love that the infinite intelligence has for you. This is the good news, people, right? This is the good news. To be able to walk out this door and realize, I am loved because I am. Right? That's the story. That's the sound bite. I am loved because I am. If you never did another thing for anybody ever again, it would be enough. Because love is not what you do. Love is who you are. And that's why we talk here about agape love. The kind of love that is not bound by circumstances. The kind of love that is not situational or behavioral. That's why we're here in spiritual community, so that we can remember to remember. Oh, I got here on earth, and then my mom did this, and then my cousin said that, and then everything broke down, and I don't have a car, and I'm broken, and they're broken, it's broke, and so I just don't think there's any love for me. Lies. Absolute lies. Because there's only one truth. And that truth is we are one. And that oneness gives way to an individualized expression of a divine love in a unique way that only you can do. Only you can dance that dance or sing that song. You don't need to sing like that. You can sing like you. And it's as loving, because when you open up your heart, when you allow yourself to give over to that space and place that is beckoning, it is begging you, please let me love through you. That is God. We are not waiting for something to come here. We're not waiting for some man to save us, although I love my men. What I'm saying is that you are it. You are the way in which love happens on this planet. If you want to know love, you got to look in the mirror and love yourself. If you want to feel love, you got to wrap your arms around yourself and say, I love you. How is anybody going to love you if you can't say it to yourself? How? Start there. Now, I know. Some of us have not taken the time to look in the mirror, or some of us have taken the time and looked in the mirror and have decided there is nothing I can possibly love about you. But I want to challenge you. I'm a little competitive. Okay, I'm a lot competitive, and the Super Bowl is going to be happening, so we need to really wrap this up. Because here's the thing. I'm going to challenge you to look in the mirror every day for the next 30 days and say, I love you. You don't have to wait for your mama and them. You don't have to wait for anybody. You don't have to wait for your job to validate you. You don't have to wait for your siblings to get up and say, I love you. You don't have to do all that. All that is over, because the future is now. Now is the time for us to start loving with the courage and the conviction and the confidence of who and what we are. Your very DNA, from the very tips of your toes to the top of your head, is waiting for you to love you. You never have to wait again. You never have to look for it anyplace else again, because all of it is right here where you are. I'm telling you something that is not theoretical. I'm telling you something that is absolute truth with a capital T. It is as true and as real as the chairs you're sitting on. You don't have to believe me. Try it for yourself. We're about spiritual principles in practice. Try it for yourself. Try to love yourself, especially when it's hard. And watch how all of a sudden situations and circumstances bend, and because the universe is always agreeing with you. My life is horrible. The universe says yes. My life is awful. The universe says yes. The universe only conforms to what you're thinking and what you're speaking, which is why we say affirm something different and watch it materialize in your life. You have nothing to lose except your misery, right? You have nothing to lose except your self-hate. You have nothing to lose except that feeling of aloneness. You have nothing to lose except that place in yourself where you think you're not enough. This is a community that is going to remind you of the truth of who you really are when you forget. And you will. That's okay. You'll forget. It's all good here. We're all, I got it, Eric. I got it. I got it. And get in the car. What did she say? It's all right. It's all right. That's why we have the YouTube. That's why you get on Facebook and the right use of technology to remind yourself of the truth. Because we're always reminding ourselves of something. The commercials we watch, the programs we watch, the food we eat. We're always reminding ourselves of something. The social media we use, that is the reminder. So your task, your challenge this month is to step into the bravery of looking in the mirror and saying, I love you. You with your faults, you with your pain, you with your suffering, you with your lack, you with your fear, you with your doubt, you with your worry, you with your concern. I love you. And if you can do that, everybody else will get in line because they know the truth. You have forgotten. We have forgotten, but not anymore. This is the day that love has made. This is the day that we get to rejoice in it. We get to sing about it. We get to dance about it. We get to pray about it. We get to cuss about it. We get to eat about it. We get to do everything because we are coming from the agape love. The kind of love that could move mountains. The kind of love that can transform situations. You walk into your workplace with the idea that I love everybody, and all of a sudden people are like, what happened to her? I don't know. Because she wasn't really that way on Friday. So something must have happened. And what happened was you began to remember who you are. This is not trickery. This is not woo-woo. This is not some mystical, magical. This is something that you can put into practice today, right now, and watch life change. This is why we talk about it. You know, we're not up here singing about it and dancing about it and praying about it and affirming about it for no reason. We're doing it because we know it is true. And someplace within your soul, there was some clock that said, on February 1st, you're going to end up at the Awakening Spiritual Community where you're going to be reminded of who and what you really are. That's why we outstretch our hands so we can just energetically shock your heart into something you never imagined before. That's why you feel it. That's why you feel it, because you realize deep in your soul that it's true. Nobody has to tell you. And if you're waiting for someone to tell you, well, you could wait for a long time. But if you wait for yourself to tell you, you're already done. That's why we're saying the theme this month is the future is now. Now is the time to say I love you. Now, right now, this minute, right now is the time to say I love you. Let me say it again. Right now is the time to say, I love you. That's your cue, where you say, I love you. Good job. One more time. I love you. One more time. I love you. Boom. Just like that. You have set yourself on a road that transforms everything. Yourself, your circumstances, your family, your partners, the people that you didn't even know you were going to meet. And when you walk into a room and they see you, they're like, oh my God, there goes love, period. End of sentence. That's the end of the storyline. There goes love. Oh my gosh, someone showed up and loved me no matter what. That's why we're here in spiritual community, because we see who you really are, not the circumstances and the events and the storyline. We see who you really are, behind the mask that you wear, behind these spacesuits that we have. We see who you really are, and you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid for us to see you, because we only offer love. Can you imagine? The story? Someone's going to say, once upon a time, there was a spiritual community where all kinds of diverse and magical people came together, and you know what they did? They loved. Gas. These are exciting times. These are transformational times. You are the people that have decided somewhere in your soul to wake up to the truth. To wake up to the truth about yourself and to wake up to the truth about everyone else. This is no easy charge, but I have a feeling each and every one of you is ready for the task. What's love have to do with it? Everything. Everything. Because that is what you carry. That will carry you through everything.